Hello everybody, welcome to February 2020 already. Got a really special show this month. We're celebrating the life of a person who was instrumental in my life and the rest of my family's as well. So Family History Project magazine for February 2020 starts now.
February 1901 was a big month. William McKinley was the president. The world was mourning the death of Queen Victoria. But near Stover, Morgan County, Missouri, the biggest story of the year was taking place on the 15th in the home of William Paul Simmons and Jerusha Charlotte Brayton. Charles Estle Simmons was being brought into the world. Charles was the third child of William and Jerusha's. The others were Dorothy Jane, from 12th of November, 1895 to 26th of September, 1936. Murphy Woodson, 22nd of July, 1897 to 21st of March, 1967. Of course, Charles Estle on the 15th of February, 1901 to the 19th of March, 1987. Starrett Virgil, 16th of November, 1903 to the 23rd of August, 1992. Sadie Eveline, 21st of September, 1906 to the 16th of October, 1981. Pearl Ethel, 8th of August, 1909 to the 11th of January, 1997. Alfred Sherman, 1st May, 1913 to the 12th of January, 1980. And last but not least, Eula Fay, the 3rd of March, 1915 to the 31st of May, 1952. According to the 1910 federal census, William was making a pretty good living as a tie maker for the railroad company. His family had increased substantially, and they were living in a rented house in Buffalo Township, Morgan County, Missouri. Charles attended Wigwam School, now located under the Lake of the Ozarks, where he received his 5th grade education. Charles grew up working on the family farm and learning the timber business. Later on in life, Charles would own his own sawmill, making railroad ties, fence posts, lumber for houses, and other items. Charles married Dolly Rose Gurlt, 4th of February, 1922, Morgan County, Missouri. Together, they had 11 children. They were Viola Jewell, 10th of February, 1923, and Viola also died on the 10th of February, 1923. Maxie Elroy, 24th of August, 1924, to the 9th of February, 2002. Stella Cleo, 23rd of June, 1926, to the 14th of April, 2019. Mary Lee, 1st of January, 1928. William Jacob, 1st of December, 1930, to the 3rd of April, 2005. Estel Howard, 6th of March, 1933, to the 28th of June, 1941. Rosie Catherine, 22nd of June, 1936. Vincent Duane, the 5th of July, 1938. Betty Geneva, 7th of June, 1941, to the 28th of July, 1941. Calvin Eugene, 7th of February 1942 to the 19th of June 1942. And last but not least, Frida Dolores was born on the 7th of March 1944. Around 1927, Grandma and Grandpa were living in Nelson, Missouri, when Grandpa, Uncle Charlie, Uncle Murph, and Uncle Alfred were involved in a car accident near Sedalia. The other driver had crossed over the center line, crashed into the car they were in. The car was damaged so badly that they had to stay in Sedalia for the night before they could make it back home. Grandpa spent his adult life working in the timber industry. He was always the happiest in the woods or working in the sawmill. He also helped build several houses for neighbors. In the early 1960s, the house that he and Dolly had lived in had caught fire and burned to the ground. Grandma was watching several of the grandkids when the back bedroom went up in flames. She had just enough time to get the kids out before the house was engulfed in flame. Charles and Dolly lost everything they owned. I remember getting news of the fire. Mom and I were at the home of Dwight Claude Adams and his wife Ruby Inez Tudor when the call came. We rushed home. Dad came home from work. We packed the car and left. I will never forget coming around the corner on T Highway and seeing the empty space where the house used to be, and all the family standing in the yard in shocked disbelief. I don't remember how long it took to rebuild the house. It seems like it went up pretty fast. I also remember Grandma and Grandpa living in a small little house made out of logs just up the road a ways on T Highway while the house was being rebuilt. One of the things that has never left me was the smell of a burnt-out house. Horrible, horrible smell. My memories of Grandpa are good, happy ones. He seemed to just come alive when his kids and grandkids were around, always laughing, joking. And if you never got the chance to watch Grandpa watching wrestling matches on TV, you miss an experience unlike any other. Or listen to Grandma talk to her soaps while she pieced her quilts together during the day. I'll never forget the time Grandpa caught me smoking in one of the outbuildings. Forget who was supposed to be the lookout, but there I was, puffing away, looked up, and there he was, looking right at me. I tried like crazy to hide the cigarette, but he kept digging in the box until he found it. Thought my life was over once I got to the house, for I was sure my parents would be waiting for me. He never told either of them about it. I remember spending the cold winter nights at the house. Grandma must have had 1,000 quilts, so she would pile bunches of them on us, and there was always a space heater on the floor and a wood stove in the kitchen to keep us warm. I remember slowly falling asleep listening to the mice scatter around in the attic. Morning came extremely early at Grandpa's. Grandma would be up cooking way before daybreak. Biscuits, eggs, thick slices of bacon would be on the table before the sun came up. My cousin, Becky Irene Simmons, or as my dad loved to call her, Rebecca, related a story about the cherry tree in the front yard. I don't know why this tree was so special to Grandpa, but we were all warned to never climb up in it. I remember one time, I don't remember who climbed up in it, but a limb broke off. It was the first time I remember seeing Grandpa so mad that he whipped one of his grandkids. But I made sure that I was never on the receiving end of that wrath.
Going down to Grandpa Simmons' farm was always fun, especially Saturdays, because that meant they were going to town. And you could socialize with people, because you didn't see that many people during the week at the farm. Just Grandma and Grandpa and a few of the family that come over during the week. So Saturday was a fun day. We would go to Cooper's store in Stover, go looking around at the hardware store, Nolting's department store, go looking around in Stover and visiting with people. Most of them I didn't know at the time. They were all family. So it was a fun time to go in Saturday, get ice cream, get margarine, because I hated butter when I was little, but it's the opposite now. I wouldn't touch margarine for nothing now. But going swimming, being on the tractor with Grandpa when he was plowing the fields and stopping and picking up rocks out of the field so he could continue plowing so he wouldn't bend the plow. running barefoot down there, walking down to Uncle Bill and Aunt Pat's house from Grandpa's and seeing the cousins, and then walking all the way down to the lake barefoot on the hot road to go swimming. So always fun times. Grandpa also taught me how to square a log out for a log cabin. I did it one time, and he made me finish it, and I could not move my arms that whole next day. I was really sore. Very hard work. He was extremely great work ethic. He got out there and got it done early, so he wouldn't be working in the hottest part of the day. He could work on the farm and take care of the stuff he was growing, and the cows and the chickens and all the other stuff that needed to be done on a daily basis. So it was always fun going down there. He took me to a lot of the family cemeteries and showed me where people was buried on the family. Mostly 3 or 4 cemeteries. It's pretty much everybody in there is related, so it was fun learning all this information. He'd take me and show me, or take me to their house and say, here's such and such. They're your cousin. I'm like, everybody's my cousin down here. So it was always fun going down there. I remember picking up chicken feathers and cutting off the quills on them to make a feather bed. Grandma used to always have a feather bed, and it was fun to sleep in. It was very warm. And so we did that and helped her cook and did the dishes on Sunday when everybody showed up for dinner. We'd be washing dishes 2 or 3 hours at a time. Helped her can. She had a big garden. She raised pretty much everything she wanted. And then what was left over, eggs or extra she had, she would go trade at Cooper's store to get what she needed, which she didn't buy a lot of stuff, maybe salad dressing, mayonnaise. Most of the other stuff she made herself. So just a lot of memories going down there every summer during school break and staying was a blast. So much different from the city. You get to milk a cow and gather eggs and play with snakes and frogs and all the fun stuff that goes along with that. So just a lot of memories. They're all good. I always remember Grandpa cutting wood, hauling it somewhere. He had his own boom truck that he would go out logging in, and had his name on the side of it, and had a big barn out there. The barn's still there. A well house, a little house they lived in for a little while when they were building the house the first time on the farm, but it's gone nowadays. But just a lot of good memories. Grandpa worked for over a year up close to Nelson, Missouri, at a Shanks's farm to raise money to buy that property, because he really wanted that corner property, and it was his cousin Marion Braden that he bought it from. So just a lot of good memories. It was a good person, honest, trustworthy. He didn't put up with shenanigans most of the time, unless you were playing slap boxing or something like that, which is one thing I never did do. I learned the first time, and never played checkers with him, because he's not going to lose. He will not let you win. That's a given. And he loved playing checkers. He loved watching wrestling, which was mentioned earlier. Was always up probably by 4:30 in the morning, getting breakfast ready, getting ready for the day to get out and get started working and milking the cows and doing all the stuff on the farm, and then cutting wood, timber, doing what he had to make money to raise the family. So just a wonderful person. I couldn't ask for a better grandfather than my Grandpa Simmons was. So.
could know the pain. You weren't afraid to face the devil. You were no stranger to the rain. Go rest high on that mountain. Son, your work on earth is done. Go to heaven a-shouting, love for the Father and the Son. Oh, how we cried the day you left us and gathered round your grave to grieve. I wish I could see the angels' faces when they hear your sweet voice sing. Go rest high on that mountain. Son, your work on earth is done. Go to heaven a-shouting, love for the Father and the Son. Go to heaven a-shouting, love for the Father and the Son. Go to heaven